Hi, and welcome back. We are on episode 70 and our very last episode in this book series that we're doing right now. So, welcome back. And Eve, if you want to
Yes, so we're going to
take it from here.
episode 69 basically was describing the teaching of Yeshua at this kind of council of R1 in somewhere in Kashmir. And from there, we're going to be covering the last few days of his life in this beautiful book written by Daniel Morwa. So the title of this episode today is Take Care of Each Other. So as we know, Yeshua is no longer counting the years at this point. 5 or 6 years have passed since the large assembly at the Council of R1. So we can probably estimate that he's 85 to 86 years old at this point, of his life. And he's no longer interested in what is mild. He only pays attention to the summers and the winters, the extreme of the seasons.
Right.
And one day, his sister Sarah transitioned. She left this world without warning. And Yeshua had barely noticed her aging. And in his heart, she had always been his little sister, It was not really. And he had not noticed that she had become an old woman. I suspect that she probably was 71 when she died.
Which is both of them pretty old for that time frame,
exactly,
right?
yeah. And Yeshua was thinking that when someone does not age in his mind, we are always surprised by their departure. So she left like a feather in the wind. And even Yabid, her husband, had not seen it coming. So again, for our audience, Yabid is the first disciple of Yeshua. He's the young man who is helping him do everything every day. And as far as Yeshua is concerned, he's wondering why he's still here, He's
Like
now
old people always think
86,
that, right? They're like, why am I still here?
His walk is still supple, and his back is straight when he's meditating or praying. And he was still receiving 2 or 3 people daily, finding the words that would help them move forward. However, in full honesty, he has to recognize that his feet were hurting and his breath was short. And I suspect that the altitude also where he's living doesn't help. So yes, why was he still here? The celestial mechanic was giving him obviously some extra time, to spend on this planet. And he was wondering also what remained to be done or pushed further inside him, He knew that the state of Avshtara, basically the avatar, is never precluding improvements. So even if you have an avatar, you can still grow, expand and grow. Yes, there is never any point of
where you're done.
Exactly.
So don't feel bad if you feel like you're not getting anywhere. You still have plenty of time.
Yes. So every day, Yeshua was thinking of the large number of men and women who had died trying to convey his teachings, And he knew that he would go on, There would be many, many more after that. So in a sense, what is beautiful, pure, and true is assaulting the ignorance in all of its form. And Yeshua had taken for mission to reduce the ignorance as much as possible among human beings. Quite a daunting task.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear, however, that he was always wondering if he could have done better. And the question is always coming peacefully in his mind, but it's always present, What could I have done differently? Yeah.
I don't think there was anything he could have done differently.
No.
Everything was, through the way the universe needed it to be, right? I mean, it flowed beautifully.
So Mariam, the wife of Thomas, is telling him, rest a little bit, Eshe Asaph. So this is the new name that he has in this community, Eshe Asaph. Asaph is a gatherer. And yes, rest. The people waiting outside can come back tomorrow.
She was protecting them. right? Just to kind of rest
Yes,
more.
and Yeshua was wondering to rest. It was strange to hear such words,
What do you think? I'm old?
while recognizing that they are very legitimate in his case. It has been now a few months, and Miriam had taken Yeshua in her home. She has insisted to do it, claiming that Yeshua's pace has slowed down too much for him to remain alone. So in the past, Yeshua was living alone, and probably helped a lot by Yabid, but it has been since his sister was gone. Now it was time for him to move to the house of Mariam. Slow pace. Another foreign term for Yeshua, who was still going out and walking alone to the forest. Maybe it was easier for Mariam to take care of Yeshua in her own home. And that's probably why he moved in with her. And he's enjoying the years spent with Mariam. It's a different atmosphere, different energy. Yabid, his disciple, is trying to reduce the number of pilgrims that wishes to see Yeshua, of course, And Mariam is of an extreme generosity and help to Yeshua. And one evening, while helping Yeshua with his woolen coat, he noticed the delicate gold bracelet on her wrist. And that was the bracelet he had manifested from the attics of his father and given to Thomas for Mariam. So this is sending us back to a very old episode where he had basically created with his hands, that beautiful bracelet, because he knew that Thomas would marry Mariam. And Yeshua says, your spouse is always loving you. Yes, he loves you wherever he is. And at that moment, Mariam had a long sigh, showing her hidden grief. And she says, you think so? And Yeshua responded, you know very well that I don't believe Mariam. I am convinced. Thomas is one of those rare humans who have understood what I said once in Bethany. You were there. This world is like a bridge. Cross it, but do not build your dwelling on it. Move forward and hope. Hope really, even for an hour, and then you will have learned it for eternity. It is the truth that Thomas went to spread and teach, you see. He will never stop, and you can be proud to be his spouse. You too, I tell you, you walked through the same bridge with the same approach. You too is making progress. And Mariam turns to Yeshua and she said, I am making progress? Yes, Ishe, I beg you. I am here like a small tree, rooted for so long. I may have explored all the paths of the mountains and valleys, and my children grew, and I'm no longer moving much. You never ceased to move forward, when in fact you had arrived from the get-go. You lifted us and pulled us behind you. A simple word was enough. How do you do that? How do you find the energy to continue? Yeah, very true questions, right?
Yeah.
And Yeshua responds, oh, Mariam, I always looked at the bridge for what it is. That bridge is the master of motion, the one that says, nobody can be heard where he thinks he belongs to, because in this world, the one that lives as being from everywhere is never at home. And listening to that, Mariam says, are you really human, Eshe, to tell me that? So she's wondering, And Yeshua responds, human? Fully, Mariam. In fact, I am prefiguring the future human. Today I am telling you, I am a messenger of the future human being, a messenger of what you all call the future and which is already waiting somewhere. And Mariam says, I do not understand. And it's true that notion of being from the future,
Right. Everything happening at the same time. Yeah.
is a very difficult concept to accept. And Yeshua says, oh, yes, you understand, but not with your mind. And this is why I enjoy telling you.
Because there's a part of her, just like all of us, that understands that we just can't grasp it, you
Right.
know.
And Mariam responds, I can understand that you are not of this time, but I cannot conceive how this can be. It becomes possible if you are seeking what is behind the sun. Universes are infinite as you know it. There are gates and secret routes that are linking them. So here I would like to make a parenthesis. And what Yeshua is referring to are those, how do they call that? Black holes, wormholes, which are linking solar systems and galaxies and universe between each other, right? That the extraterrestrials are using to travel from one place to another. Right. So, of course, this is a notion that was kind of unknown 2,000 years ago, but that's what he's talking about. And then he resumes, and like in this world, there are fights and wars. These are struggles for the appropriation of the dream of such universe. All the ones that are fighting in any space are doing it for the dreams. They are running after other dreams to save their dream. This is why I love the name that has been given to me, Asaph. From where my being comes, I received the mission to gather the hearts and to teach them to go beyond all forms of slumber. Thus, the eternal is not what is being said about it, Mariam, because the simple idea of eternity is giving, in fact, an illusion, the illusion of a frozen perfection. Can you picture yourself as a piece of its essence that can be divinized? I know my words are disturbing you, but they are good for you as they will prevent you from falling asleep. Yeah, it's always very, very deep what he has to teach. Yeah. So,
especially for that time.
Yes, especially
I mean, today
for that
we could
time.
really we could understand a lot
We can
better.
understand some of that, with the quantum physics we know and some of the advancement in science. And so at this point, Mariam smiles and she places her forehead on Yeshua's hand. She knew that the words could not go any further because they would have fallen into the inevitable trap of their own limitations. So at this time, it is the beginning of spring, and a few birds were reappearing in the trees. The last bank of snow were melting in the sun, and the sheep and the ewes were bleating in a different way. Very soon there will be new births.
Oh, babies.
Yes. There was so much life in the heart of Yeshua's prayers, and it was creating waves of love, moving along with the sap ascending in the trees and the plants.
So poetic.
So one early morning, a man wearing the sign of Shiva Shankara on his forehead came to Yeshua. The man was exhausted and poorly dressed. He had been walking for weeks in the hope of meeting Yeshua. Eshe Asaph. That man had done countless yoga exercises, recited a multitude of mantras all his life, and never worried about the material possessions. His gaze was sparkling with excitement, but he was also showing some kind of distress. The question that was bothering him was very simple. Why was he unable to free himself and know the felicity? Why? And Yeshua's answers was also very simple, and he had given it 1,000 times. Why? Simply because your only worry is to free yourself. Therefore, every evening, ask yourself this question. How many times have I served life in today's world? You will see. The knot will release itself. So the eyes of the man became suddenly red. He bowed his head and prepared himself to leave immediately. wrapping his chest in a worn-out blanket. And Yeshua holds him and says, "Wait, wait, my brother, take this." And at this point, Yeshua takes the hands of the pilgrim into his hand, and he materializes small bread and some honey on it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the last time that Yeshua would use what he calls the attics of his father. Okay,
The antics.
the attics.
Attics. What
Yes,
is that?
basically, it is the cellar where he's extracting things from the etheric
Oh, okay.
and materializing them.
Okay. Mhm.
So during a couple of days later, during the morning, Yeshua felt the need to go to the edge of the woods to pray and to be alone. So he sat down and rested against the trunk of a large pine tree. He then closed his eyes to reach his inner light as he had done so many times, because it felt good and it was soft. And at that point, he was devoid of all thoughts. He let his being melt into the whole. He knew very well that vertigo of no desire and the supreme ecstasy of the welcome. It was an indescribable ocean of unification and comfort, from which it was sometimes difficult to come back. This time, however, Yeshua perceived that it was different, that his heart was slowing down, the motion of the waves. He was feeling the undulations in a different way, as if he was inside them and they were filling him with beatitude. Just let go. That was it. I am flying away. I knew it, and that was it.
Mhm.
So Yeshua was living in spring. So Yeshua did not see himself cross any boundaries because there were none. It was like going from the water into the steam. There was no loss of consciousness, not a single jolt of the body, or any surprises about what was happening. So Yeshua's heart had stopped beating, and it was forever. Under him, he could see a body sitting straight against a tree in the exact position of the statue of the awakened. The face was slim, the long hair and the beard totally white. Was that what he had just left? that thing that seemed to smile? Yeshua, is that you? Was he asking, being humorous? But Yeshua was already far away. He was a form, a mask belonging to other times, a dream.
Mm.
The consciousness of Sananda did not stay near the body of Yeshua. So soon they would find the body, and it would be screams and tears, a false track, while the light of his consciousness was filling him with ecstasy and pushing him forward.
Mm.
Finally, the consciousness of Sananda was pulled like in a vortex, and then the space opened up, and Sananda entered a diamond. He was now among a large assembly, sitting on the floor of a large and immaculate space of lights and water. All the eyes and gazes were directed to him. Gazes of softness and power, gazes of an untamable wisdom. There were men and women, and all their words were light and full of sunshine. And they said to him, "Thus, it had to be you, Sananda. You accepted that mission." And Sananda responded, "Yes, Yeshua, Eshe, Asaph. Yes, that's it. Yes, I lived through these names, these songs, their bodies and their lives." So while saying these words, Sananda had the certainty and the conviction that he was gone from Shambhala for only a short instant in the immensity of the plan that would never stop.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing would ever stop, because on the cord of a sublime and subtle lyra existed a world, an earth, on which crowds of women and men were expecting the voice of a being repeating again to them what he had never ceased to tell them.
Which was, take care of each other in the same way I am taking care of you and will always do for you.
For you, yeah. So that was the end of the message, basically. And we would like to add a few uh, notes that have been also provided in the book. So the body of the master Yeshua was buried on the outskirts of Meru Vardhana, which is today the city of Srinagar, near the wooden temple which was at that time dedicated to Shiva Shankara, in memory of that day when the people around the Lake Dal started calling him Asaph, the gatherer. So of course, that wooden temple no longer exists. And it was his disciple Yabid who presided the ceremony and erected a gravestone in front of a very large crowd. So apparently, many people came to attend his funerals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can say today is that in a small street of Srinagar, there is a place, a small building named Rosabal, which means, in the local dialect, the location of the tomb of the prophet.
Oh, huh.
And the tradition pretends that the actual coffin of Yeshua is there under the name of Yuz Asaph. Okay?
Yeah, who would ever know?
Yeah. So next to him is another coffin of a Muslim mystic who, in the 15th century, was adoring Yeshua's teachings and his memory. And that Muslim mystic was called Said Nasir Ud Hin. So in the middle name Nasir, some people have been reading Nazarene.
Nazarene, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so the access to this little place is very difficult because of the political context of Kashmir. It is being said that at times the fragrance of roses is perceived in that building. So we have provided you with maps and pictures of the Rosabal building. I don't know if it's possible to go there or not. Again, we don't know if it's really the coffin of Yeshua, because when you think about it, 2,000 years ago, his body would have been placed directly into the dirt, right?
Right, probably wrapped up,
Yeah,
right?
wrapped up. So they would have had to exhume him and put him into a coffin, and I don't know. Yeah, this is all speculation at this point. Yeah, it's really difficult to know exactly what happened, and I guess it doesn't matter really. Yeah. So there are other points we would like to talk about too. First, I would like to summarize the life of Yeshua. So again, what we have been doing along those 70 episodes is quite different from what the Bible is telling us. But anyway, everybody's welcome to believe what they want. So according to the book of Daniel Mawar and is the Akashic Memories of the life of Yeshua, from his birth to the age of 5, he was in Egypt with his parents. From the age of 6 to 13, he joined the Carmel School of Mystery. From the age of 14 to 30, he traveled to the east, to India, and also spent 3 years and a half in the Himalayas. From the age of 30 to 31, he was in Egypt, and at the end of his journey in Egypt, he received his first initiation in the Great Pyramid, which gave him a part of the Christic energy. From 31 to 36, he's basically doing the public teachings, the public office as we know it. At the beginning, he also received the baptism by John the Baptist, Johanan, right, which gave him the second part of the Christic energy, the second blow or breath of Christic energy. He also married Miriam, right? I forgot exactly at what age he did that, but probably when he was 32 or 33 years old. At 36, he was crucified by the Romans following the orders of the Sanhedrin. And from 36 to 40 years old, he recovered his physical body and hid himself in the Carmel School of Mystery. From the age of 41 to 86, he continued his life near the city of Srinagar. 86 years old, that was the physical death of Yeshua. The soul is now at Sananda and went back to Shambhala.
That's the longest place he ever stayed.
Yes, that's right. Srinagar, yeah. So we did all these presentation because the English translation of the books was very long to come. Apparently, from what I've read recently, the first book of Daniel Moa has been translated in English.
This very book.
This very book, yeah.
Okay.
There are two volumes. The first volume has been translated in English. It was already available in Spanish and German for many years, but recently, apparently, it's available in English, which is a good thing. Now, the question is, this translation is available in the UK. I don't know if it will ever be available in the US.
Did you try to see if you could get it here?
Amazon doesn't have it here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
but you can apparently order it in England.
Which would be a good thing for whoever was interested in all of
Right,
this to
yes.
read on their own. And, you know,
Right.
this was your translation. I mean, you tried to
Yes.
do as best as you could.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. And just like they do when they do those beautiful mandalas and they just destroy them afterwards. I mean, that's pretty much what you do with all of the writing. I mean, you
Yes.
never kept
I never kept any.
a page of it, which too bad because they might have been able to use your translation. But in any case, it was a beautiful work. I mean, you really.
Thank you.
I saw a transformation in you through this book and writing, and could really feel a lot of the emotions and pain. I mean, there was a point when they were doing the crucifixion where I told you I could not be a part of that.
Yes.
And you couldn't do it with the camera on.
No.
So it was, I mean, we really felt a lot through this, and we're so grateful for the beauty in the writing that Daniel was able to express on these pages. And I just found it very, very poetic, so many of the writings here. And I'm grateful that we had this opportunity, and we hope that all of you found some peace within this and to know who Yeshua, Sananda, really was.
Yes, I think it's very important because it's quite a different picture from what the official Bible is.
Well, you really didn't get much of an idea in the Bible about him. It's really everybody's writings about him, unless you get the red letters of Jesus that's written in the Bible. But otherwise, it's what everybody has written about him and their experiences. So it was so interesting to get that view through the eyes of Yeshua, you know, to see exactly what he was feeling, what he was seeing.
And there are a lot of episodes which basically where he was alone and which have never been conveyed or told.
Right, because nobody would know.
Yeah, nobody was there.
Yeah. Nobody knew his own thoughts,
especially
his own thoughts.
The first few years of his life. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So very, very interesting, and I'm really happy that it is going to be that, you know, possibly some people will be able to enjoy that.
Yeah. And again, I would encourage people who have knowledge of a second language like Spanish or German, please get those books and read them.
How many times did you read the book?
Oof, a few times, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a pretty big book. Yeah. And you read the second book.
It's 1,200 pages total.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I want to talk also about the process of Akashic reading. I mean, Daniel Moroa wrote a book in French to explain how he approaches the Akashic memory readings. It's a very specific process that he has, you know, so he gets in some kind of trance. And again, Daniel Moroa was a disciple of Yeshua, right? went to the Carmel School of Mystery, uh, was taught how to travel out of his body into the astral realm. So he has, I mean,
When
he
you
has
say
access to
when you
that.
said he went to the in the etheric, he went to the
No,
Carmel
no, no,
school.
no.
He acted.
In his previous, in one of his previous lifetimes,
Okay.
when
All
he
right.
was Simon,
Okay.
yeah, he was also trained in the Carmel School of Mystery almost at the same time as Yeshua was there. I mean, actually, no, he was. I think he was a little bit younger than Yeshua, so he could have come a little bit later. But they were friends. They were playing together in the village. So
yeah.
and so the way Daniel proceeds is the following: he gets into this kind of trance, state or elevation, where he is decorporated. He goes into a certain place and he stays there for about 2 to 3 hours, no more than that, because then the reintegration of his physical body is very painful and usually induces vomiting and nausea, which is very unpleasant. And the time is happening much faster in that astral realm when you read the Akashic memory. Even though physically you're only there for 1 or 2 hours, you can actually live
multiple
days, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he would do that for. It took him about 2 years
I was going to ask
write that book. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a dedication there.
Yes, with a little travel to the Akashic memories every day. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it does take a lot out of you to.
And then he has a fantastic memory that allows him to write down, everything that was.
I'm sure he
perceived.
channeled a lot of his higher self came in.
So the important part also, and we have mentioned that in the first episode, is that when you are reviewing the Akashic memories, you're feeling, you're smelling, you're seeing, all the senses are in full action.
Right.
So whatever Yeshua was feeling, he was also feeling it.
Well, that must have been hard during the crucifixion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to talk also about the role of an Avshtara, and so what is an Avshtara? We call it an avatar in English. I wish that name was not used for other stupid stuff, video games and whatever. Anyway, so an Avshtara is a master who is coming at regular intervals on the planet Earth to try to shake up things and pull people forward into the path of enlightenment and evolution. Yeah. And as far as there have been multiple Avshtara, and there are still Avshtara who are coming. Most of them are usually coming in India or in the eastern part of the world. I guess the Western world is not very receptive to that, so they probably don't waste their time here. And,
I don't know about that.
Yeah. So anyway, Yeshua, before being Yeshua, he was also Zoroaster, right? 1500 years before coming as Yeshua. And he was also in his previous incarnation, King Solomon. The father of Yeshua, Yusuf, was King David in a previous incarnation too.
So the avatars all travel together, huh?
Well, I don't know if they travel together, but and again, we talked about Shambhala also, and people have been writing about Shambhala a lot, but Shambhala is basically a place which is in a fifth dimensional type of vibration, which is located inside the earth. And it has a brotherhood, and on a regular basis, members of that brotherhood and sisterhood are incarnating on this planet to help human beings. Yeah. And they have also a lot of interaction with the extraterrestrial, and more specifically the Pleiadians and Syrians. Yeah. Now I wanted to talk about the Bible, especially the English written Bible, which we call the King James Bible. And that Bible has been modified extensively, to for the American audience, and the British first, and then the American audience. And the modification were brought by John Nelson Darby and Cyrus Scofield. Okay, and they based most of it on the writings of Saul of Tarsus, of the Apostle Paul, who was never ever a disciple of Yeshua. We have seen in a previous episode that Paul or Saul met Yeshua in his light body on the road to what was it? Anyway, coming out of Palestine, and they had this interaction which was absolutely dramatic for Saul, you know. And so what Saul has been doing is gathering information left and right, and trying to rewrite history and trying to rewrite the teachings. And it's very unfortunate that the current Bible is 80 or 90% based on the teachings of Paul, who was never a disciple. Anyway.
Every Sunday you get to learn about Paul.
Yeah,
mainly.
Right. Yeah. And so I think it's important that we present the life of Yeshua the way we did it, because it is completely devoid of any influence from Paul, influence from John Darby, and influence from Cyrus Scofield. Yeah.
Scofield Bibles.
Which basically have been writing entire chapters which are absolutely unrelated to the teachings of Yeshua. Yeah.
So that's kind of what motivated us to want to do this, because we felt, well, let's put a message out there of some truth, and people could either take it or leave it. And at least they have an opportunity to hear something different. And, it's a beautiful story. It really is a beautiful story of an avatar that came here to save us or teach us. And, I'm grateful for his presence here on this earth, and for you to translate all of that for us to understand and just have a new vision of who Yeshua was. So he was really just like us, right? He was a beautiful human being. He felt everything just like we did. But of course he was much higher state of consciousness.
Yeah. What is interesting also in all the 70 episodes we have been relating is the role of the women, especially Miriam, his wife, and Miriam, his mother, and as well as Shlomit, and the other ones, Yakube. Those women were extremely important in the lives of Yeshua. And actually, I think that he came on this planet to help the women in general.
Raise the awareness.
The awareness and the female principle,
And we know what they did with that. I mean, they made Mary Magdalene into a prostitute, and they just, degraded women, so.
That's easy to understand, because Mary Magdalene was the former wife of Paul. So Paul was extremely unhappy that she left him, because she literally left him.
Because you can't do that in those days.
and took her son with her, and so he has such hatred, and such disgust with her that he had to paint her as a prostitute. Yeah, he never accepted that she remarried Yeshua, and that's something he was very bitter about it. Yeah, so. Yeah, I guess the Catholic Church and then all the King James Bible have been not very helping women.
Well, the Catholic Church, Mother Mary is revered.
Mother Mary is revered.
So,
it's
true. You can't say that about the Catholic. The Catholics do revere
but only
her.
because she gave birth to Yeshua.
Well, it's not only. Yeah.
So, and I wanted to finish talking about the author, Daniel Mauroy. Daniel Mauroy was living in France for half of his life, and then he was married with Anne Givaudan. I met them twice when they were together, and later on something happened. I mean, he had to to leave her and decided to move to the province of Quebec. So he's now living in Quebec. He's a wonderful person. When you look at him, and I encourage you to look at him, find picture of him on the web. I would say that his face is like a disciple of Yeshua 2,000 years ago. He has the same.
He does. He does have that
Yeah.
appearance.
He's extremely kind,
Yeah.
extremely gentle, and he wrote more than 40 books, all based on astral traveling and Akashic reading.
Did you read all those?
I read most of them, yeah. Not all of them, but I would say 3/4 of them, yes. And I own them, yeah. They're absolutely fantastic books, yeah. There is a book that was recently translated in English. It's The Method of the Master. It presents 8 little exercises that are used to clean your chakras. And I would recommend our audience and readers to get that book in English. It's available on Amazon. I think it's called The Method of the Master. And so this is also a very interesting book.
Are there any other books that you think people would?
Well, there is the 3 Marys.
Oh yeah,
of
that
course.
was really good.
That is excellent.
Gives you a whole new perspective into
on
their lives.
Exactly.
That was good.
What they went through and
Yeah.
what they could do. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what we're going to do next. We've been talking about that. So stay tuned. Maybe you'll see us in a different
different roles.
Right. Different light. But thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying these series with us. We hope you got something
out of it.
Bye.
Bye.